Thank you for staying with Citizen Weekend, and let's get on now with the governor's seat. The governor in studio tonight is Kericho County Governor Paul Chepkwony. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Lillian.
Right, and let's begin by talking about Wambora's impeachment, and you as the governors, really, what are your thoughts on this? What are you feeling as governors? We know that the Council of Governors has now moved to court to challenge this impeachment. Just your thoughts on this before we begin on Kericho County.
First of all, Lillian, the thing that I would say is this is very unfortunate. It's very sad for the people of Embu. And what the people of Embu first and foremost need is reconciliation. People need to be brought together. Second, of course, the due process by Senate, I saw, and it was followed through. And at the same time, even before there was a court order, which of course, despite that, the impeachment proceedings did take place. However, most governors actually are following the due process generally in terms of what they were elected to do, and therefore most of them are not worried about anything because we are following the law. For example, being governor of Kericho, we follow the law, and I'm very involved in very, very aggressive measures to make sure that Kericho becomes a corruption-free zone. So we are waiting for the next move. The Chief Justice today he has set up a 3-judge bench, which we hope then ultimately will set up standards for future impeachments. Right.
Thank you for that. And let's begin now with Kericho County. It's been a year, it will be a year next month since governors took office. And looking at Kericho County, our viewers are asking, people from Kericho County are asking, what would you say has taken off in terms of your development agenda on the ground?
We've taken off to a very good start in Kericho County. First of all, we are lucky to have a very good working relationship between the executive and the county assembly. If you remember, during the strike by MCAs across the country, Kericho County Assembly did not go on strike. That gave us the opportunity to form the government of Kericho County very efficiently, and the government is fully formed. Immediately, the funds started flowing in from the national government, the devolved funds. We've taken off in most aspects. We've started very, very ambitious road construction projects. This year alone, we're going to do about 450 kilometers of new roads. We've started water projects. We've started expanding our ICT infrastructure. We've started developing new polytechnics. We are strengthening the health sector in Kericho County. We are also doing value addition to the agricultural produce, and we are already emphasizing on value addition of livestock. And then, of course, our focus is to make sure that the youth of Kericho County get employed through Community Works Program, which has already been launched, and we expect that 8,000 youth will be employed through road construction. Others will be employed through other sectors, and so we are moving very well. So
far so good. Okay, and I'll begin to take questions that are coming in and comments that are coming in. And you touched on the good working relationship, with your county executive and what have you. This is Noah Kipiegon. He's in Mombasa, and he's asking, what are your plans to curb the rising case of biasness and favorism in the employment of people in the county? It's so worrying to hear someone has been employed because he has strong connection with the top people in the county, and perhaps this touching on employment and whether due process is followed as regards opportunities within the county.
I wish he could really specify exactly the biasness which is specifying. However, the County Public Service Board is responsible for all employment in the county, and in doing that they take into consideration equity, gender, people with disability, and regional balance.
Right.
So if you come to Kericho County, you will see that every region is represented. And of course, these are done competitively. Merit, of course, is part of the component, in addition to the aspects that I've mentioned.
Okay. And, you know, being a year before we continue to take the other questions that are coming in, what would you say are some of the challenges that you've faced on the ground that perhaps may have served as an impediment to growth and indeed the priorities that you have in place as regards county development?
The first challenge we encountered was immediately after being sworn in. Forming the government was initially slow, but much later, when systems were put in place, things started moving very quickly. And then later on, of course, when we started receiving devolved staff, especially from the national government, and I want to single out specifically health staff, 927 of them. 957 of them. This is taking a big chunk of our development funds, and we've had to downsize in many areas so that we are able to still do development without necessarily returning any of these people back to Nairobi. Secondly, the money from controller budget is trickling in. It's coming every month. We were expecting that we would be given quarterly, so that whenever we roll out development projects, we do it quickly. So we are moving slowly because funds are coming in every month, 140 million a month, 113 million a month, 180 at times. So when we spread it to the 10 ministries that we have in Kericho County, it's so thin. Anyhow, we are moving very well. All the priority areas are being taken care of.
Right. But
it is not at the pace which we would have wanted.
And Kericho is one of the green zones in the country, but there have been concerns in recent years, you know, about decline in agriculture. So question coming in is, what plans do you have to boost agriculture in Kericho? Is it currently an issue of concern?
Lillian, there's a lot of misinformation about Kericho. People think that Kericho is just about tea, it's growing all over. Kericho is a county of contrasts. We have the lower belt. The sowing belt is as arid and semi-arid lands, and it's dry quite a good part of the year. But of course, the southern flank is a tea zone. So when you come to Kericho, you see green, and then of course,
and yet that's tea.
Yes, and then of course, Kericho has very diverse kind of produce. We have sugarcane, we've got coffee, we've got tea, we've got pineapples, we've got livestock, we've got pyrethrum, we've got maize. Now what we've done is to do value addition, beginning with the value addition to cattle. For this, we've already we've revived all the 168 dips, and we are providing a carry size to the farmers. The farmers just have to pay the dip attendants. We are providing free AI, so that even the poor farmer who has a zebu cow can someday have a Frisian or a Jersey.
And then of course, finally, on the issue of cattle dips, just hold that thought, and you'll continue that. On the issue of cattle dips, and this is a question that came in earlier on my Twitter handle, somebody saying that the cattle dips not really a priority as of now, because a lot of the farmers there have one cow or two cows, and not a lot of them you know, are big on dairy farming, and therefore they're zero grazers. What is your response to that? Is this viewer well informed?
Lillian, I can say that is not a person from Kericho. The people of Kericho are cattle keepers, and we are talking about someone with 20, 30. Of course, there are people who may have one or two. I can just give you the statistics. We have well over 300,000 cattle. 90% of the people do not even know anything about zero grazing. And I've mentioned 168 dips. It tells you that this is a very serious business. And again, it's not just dips. Dips are areas where we use to convert animals for various services, including even vaccination, which we are providing. We are providing vaccination against TCF as part of value chain addition. And I just want to give you simple maths. When you vaccinate an animal against ECF, and then you tag the ear to indicate that has happened, the value goes up by 10,000. And we are talking about 300,000 animals. So basically, the farmers of Kericho County have an extra 3 billion over and above what they had before. So basically, this person who's asked may not necessarily come from.
Right. And let's talk about Fine. I think I cut you mid-sentence, so just complete what you were saying, and then.
So I'm saying this gentleman doesn't come from Kericho. Even those with zero grazing units, of course, still find that dipping animals is better than using a knapsack sprayer, because you can't spray the animal fully all over the body unless, of course, you dip it somewhere. Yes.
Right. The Kericho tea is renowned, and there's a viewer here saying no Kericho tea brand can be found in many shelves outside Kenya. What plans do you have to add value to our locally manufactured tea? We haven't heard much of your plans for an industrial Kericho, nor incentives for investors. With your impeccable credentials, we remain hopeful for change. And this is Robert Buret.
Kericho is blessed, Lillian. We are the only county with a huge plantation of county tea, 302 acres at Kabianga Tifa. What we've done, and I already signed for the setting up of a specialty tea factory in Kericho, which will process orthodox tea as well as black tea, both for the county and the farmer. We also intend to sell tea directly to various destinations of the world. We intend to sell coffee and other produce. We will be packaging also pineapples, and we already put in money to set up the first pineapple packaging plant in Buret.
Okay, right. And as we move on, somebody here is talking about could you talk about the timber merchants of Kericho? Why is it difficult for residents to get sawmillers licenses, and yet non-residents get them with ease? And of course, this a concern in terms of deforestation and what have you.
Lillian, forests are under the national government, and they are being managed by Kenya Forestry Services. But lately, as a way of win-win situation, we've held stakeholders meeting where we are telling KFS that where sawmillers have to be given an opportunity to do business in Kericho, the first priority should be given to the locals. This is a way of making people have incentives to protect the forest, because they know they benefit from that. The other thing, of course, is that we've agreed any value addition of timber products should be done in Kericho. And this is also an aspect which the County Assembly will be legislating, so that really the jobs don't go out of Kericho when timber is from there.
Right. And what plans do you have regarding cattle rustling between your county and Nyakach? Serious issue.
Well, the cattle rustling is not at the scale at which it can even be called cattle rustling. We have a few cases where on both sides someone, and I can call maybe a thief, may want to go and steal a cow from the other side, and vice versa. What we are doing is to provide economic opportunities to the youth, so that there is really no incentive for anyone to steal a cow worth 10 or 5,000 shillings. And this is something that I've discussed with the governor of Kisumu, Jack Ranguma, that we need to create economic boom on both sides, and we are doing it through irrigation of the area. We are doing it jointly by expanding Sondu market, so that these two communities can then sell their their wares and get money, so they don't have to go into these evils.
And a lot of questions coming in on our social media platforms, and I believe I'll have them up shortly. Our viewers are sending in questions, and if we could have those up so that we can forward them to our governor in studio. That's Kericho County Governor Paul Chepkwony. Right, there we go. And this question coming in on Twitter, this is at Nasriki. Pledges you made to the residents of Keburu, and so far no sign of any work. What is your office doing about that? Those are residents of Keburu. Somebody here is saying, what strategic development plans does the governor have for the county? I believe the governor touched on those. Could Governor Paul Chepkwony respond to allegations that his government is composed of his kin? Somebody asked the question on employment, and I believe the governor addressed that. Why did you impose border charges at such a high rate? And what happened to the 50 million youth loan you allocated in 2013-2014 fiscal year that has not yet materialized? Let's talk about the 50 million youth loan that you allocated.
Yes, that one is already in the process. What that required is a bill, a youth fund being created by the county assembly. The assembly just came back on recess, and this is going to be pushed through, and as soon as the bill goes through, then we'll have the mandate to disperse. It's true the money is there, so the youth, and I'm encouraging them to start getting organized in terms of groups and come for the loan possibly in the next 2-3 weeks.
Right. Concerns on the state of roads, infrastructure, a lot of the roads in Kericho County said to be in poor state, and also another issue that is being addressed here is access to health services. This, of course, being challenged by the poor road infrastructure.
Lillian, it's true, and this is something that has been like so for the last 50 years. What we've done is, our priority number one is road construction. In fact, we pumped in 450 million into road construction. Each ward is going to have 15 kilometers of new roads being constructed, and already works are going on. The youths are being employed within those vicinities, and we're also upgrading our urban areas, making good roads so that it's easy to move within the towns. The other thing, of course, is that the other day, I'm sure you may have seen, we received huge consignment of drugs from KEMSA, and this is worth 50 million Kenya shillings. These have been distributed to all dispensaries, health centers, sub-district hospitals, and the district hospital itself. And of course, we've also purchased equipment worth 50 million Kenya shillings for ICU and IDU,
right,
so that we upgrade Kericho district hospital to a referral hospital. And then, of course, we have very nice staff. In fact, Kericho County has 7 consultants. So I think we have the best professionals, and we are more ready than any county to deliver the best health care for our people.
And we're pressed for time. You are a professor, of course, education being close to your heart. What plans do you have for that, with regard to that? Yes,
I'm a professor of pharmaceutical chemistry. Following the results that just came out for KCPE, and we're expecting Form 4 exams in the next few weeks, we are going to have a stakeholders meeting to discuss how to revolutionize performance in Kericho County. So we've already put a date. It will be sometime in March, and we're going to invite everybody. I have quite a number of tips, but we need to also get to hear from other people, and we turn around Kericho County education. I have no doubt that in the next few years we'll be the best in the country.
Okay, governors have been accused of being extravagant and lavish in their spending. As we wind up, are you one of those counties? Can you say that you can confidently, can you confidently tell your people that you are not guilty of such?
Well, the governor of Kericho County is not lavish. If you see, I use one official car. Of course, I have a press car, and I have a chase car, and I am very modest in my expenditure, and the people of Kericho County know this very well. I am not lavish at all, and I'm there to take care of the resources of the public.
All right, Governor Chepkwony, we're winding up now. 4 years from now, what will your legacy be? What do you want the people of Kericho County to remember you for, and what changes do you believe will be visible, will have come about under your leadership?
I want to be remembered to be that first governor who put Kericho back on the national map initially, and then, of course, in the long term, the governor who made Kericho County the best in the world.
Right. Well said. Thank you very much for your time. I wish we had more time. A lot of issues that we need to address, and indeed a lot of questions that you would have needed to answer here. But I believe you have touched on most of the issues that our viewers are raising. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Leila.
We've been talking to Paul Chepkwony, Governor, Kericho County.